The program's going to be starting in about a couple minutes. If you could please find your seats. Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome. We're so glad you're able to join us for this landmark day, as not only we recognize the accomplishments during Mayor Bill Baird's tenure as mayor in the State of City address, but also celebrate the grand opening of this iconic space you're standing in now, Green Street. I'm Rick Smetana, Chair-elect of the Lee Summit Chamber Board of Directors, and it's my pleasure to recognize the elected officials present here today. If you currently serve as an elected official, would you please stand as everyone else takes a seat? Thank you for the work you put in to serve our community each and every day. We also want to extend a special thank you to our event sponsor, St. Luke's Health System, for making this event possible today. Please join me in welcoming Anna Salih, Chief Operating Officer at St. Luke's East Hospital, to the stage.
Hello and welcome. I'm Anna Salih, and I'm honored to represent St. Luke's East Hospital, as well as all of St. Luke's and BJC on such a special occasion. It's been our privilege at St. Luke's East to serve and grow with our community, and I am grateful for the opportunity to share this celebration with you, our neighbors, friends, and family. Today, we recognize how far we've come in the last year, but as I reflect on the accomplishments of the last 12 months, I can't help but consider how our nearly 20-year partnership and the progress we've made together. When St. Luke's East became part of the Lee Summit community in 2006, we expected great things, but together, we have exceeded every expectation. We're proud to be one of the city's largest employers and the fastest growing employer in Lee Summit every year since we were established. When you walk through our doors, the caregivers you meet are members of the community, and they care for you like family. Those connections have resulted in a close-knit, welcoming environment where caregivers know your face and remember your name, all at a state-of-the-art, award-winning medical campus that provides world-class care right here in Lee Summit. Since opening in 2006, St. Luke's East has continued to grow every year, including projects like a $68 million expansion, an oncology wing, a 30-bed addition, and a $10 million surgical services expansion, just to name a few. Last year, we began a $52 million expansion, which is just about finished, that includes an expansion of our surgery center and more clinical space for clinics like St. Luke's Women's Health East Clinic and Rock Hill Orthopedic Specialists. We are especially proud that St. Luke's East restored local birth care after a 60-year gap. Since we opened our doors, we have had the privilege of delivering over 25,000 babies into Lee Summit families. I'm sure many of them are here today. We share an extraordinary history, and I can't wait to see what's next. With more development planned for the future, our mission has always been clear: to meet this community's healthcare needs with excellence, compassion, and innovation. Thank you, Lee Summit, for allowing us to grow with you.
Thank you. And now, it is my honor to present the individual with whom you all come here to hear this afternoon. Bill Baird was elected the 42nd mayor of Lee Summit on April 3rd, 2018. As mayor, his priorities have been public safety, a healthy, balanced economy, infrastructure, and reinvestment in Lee Summit's award-winning downtown. Baird has led an impressive career in the real estate industry. He has owned multiple companies, including his current company, Baird Realty Group. He is a member of many real estate organizations, including the Kansas City Regional Association of Realtors, where he was also a member of the Heartland MLS board from 2008 to 2013, and was the board president in 2012. As a 28-year resident of Lee Summit, Baird has contributed to the community through his volunteer and community service work. He served on the Lee Summit Education Foundation board and held an elected position on the Lee Summit R7 School Board from 2014 to 2017. He is a member of the Downtown Lee Summit Main Street and the Lee Summit Chamber of Commerce, where he previously served on the board of directors. Under his leadership, the city has seen the completion of long-term strategic plan, multiple public safety initiatives, including voter-approved, no-tax general obligation bond to develop the Joint Operations Center, police substation, and the implementation of police vehicle and body cameras, as well as public safety sales tax that has helped build the finest of police and fire departments in the region. Economic development in Lee Summit under Baird's tenure has seen billions of dollars in approved new construction, including retail, office, single-family, multifamily, and industrial developments, attracting thousands of jobs to the city. Baird championed the construction and investment of this very space we're standing in today. It will go on to become one of the city's greatest assets and activity centers to grow and attract even more visitors to our thriving city. Baird is most passionate about his family. He and his wife, Hillary, are the proud parents of Bailey and Grant. Outside the office, Baird can be seen exercising with his long-haired German Shepherd or traveling to warm destinations. He is known for his passion and love for the movie, It's a Wonderful Life. One of the morals of that movie is that every decision we make impacts other people, often in ways we never know. With this in mind, Baird lives each day trying to impact others in positive ways. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Lee Summit Mayor Bill Baird.
Sorry, I'm not going to use the microphone. I've got one on my tie here. Thank you so much, Rick. Thank you to the Chamber for hosting today's celebration in this beautiful venue. Thank you to St. Luke's for sponsoring this event and providing such amazing health care to our community. Before we begin, though, true story. The last 2 years, my State of the City speech was interrupted by a very loud cell phone. And it was the exact same lady that really struggled to turn her ringer off, and it just kept going and going and going. So Mom, Please silence your cell phone. It is a true story. I'm going to speak to a bunch of things. I'm going to stay on script really tight, but the elected officials that stood up, I would love to recognize each of you and tell stories about each of you, because I value tremendously the relationships I have, it means so much to me and all of us here that you came today, so thank you. And it's such a great day to be in downtown Lee Summit. There's special moments in life, and I've been blessed with quite a few, but today's a day where not only do I get to ribbon cut and celebrate with all of you, a great addition to our community that will provide countless special moments for others for generations to come, but I also get to give this speech in this moment, and I will never give a speech of any kind in this type of moment with such extraordinary circumstances. It's going to be a tough speech for me to get through. Everybody keeps asking, is it bittersweet? It is. But it's a speech on where we've been, what we've built, and where we're going together. To our city council, your leadership, your service, and unwavering commitment have turned visions into realities. I hope today you feel the satisfaction of knowing that you've left a lasting mark on this city. To our city staff, you're the engine behind every success. And I can't name everyone, but I must highlight a few mountain movers: Ryan Elam, David Bushek, Brian Head, and Mark Dunning. You've never made excuses, only progress. You've made this city great. To our Park and Board Recreation and Director, Joe Snook, you enrich our lives, our health, and our sense of community. We have over 1,200 acres, 30 parks, and exciting projects like the new field house and Longview's pickleball complex underway. You prove every day that Lee Summit is a place where life thrives. We have tremendous amount of school members here, school board and school district people here. I'd like to say to our schools and education partners, Lee Summit, Blue Springs, MCC Longview, University of Central Missouri, thank you for showing us that strong schools build strong communities. Through real training, real skills, real opportunity, you've made our workforce development a model for the region. And to the people of Lee Summit, you're the reason we're here. This milestone and the many milestones that I will speak to, this moment, this venue, are all yours. Give me 1 second. Thank you. I remember coming into office 7 years ago with what I refer to as great determination and passion. Others referred to it as guns blazing. Within my first few months of office, I challenged our community partners, the Lee Summit Chamber, the Downtown Main Street, and the Economic Development Council to eliminate the silos, come together in collaboration, and engage with a broader population in our community. Our Downtown Main Street, led by Donnie Rogers, embraced a collaboration like never before, helping champion the Green Street Market and Plaza. Our chamber, after navigating challenges, emerged stronger than ever, now a leader in the metropolitan area with well over 1,000 members. When an issue needs to be addressed in the business community, the chamber answers the call, such as last year when the 2026 World Cup loomed without a visitors bureau in place. The chamber stepped up. President Matt Baird, one of the hardest working people I know, next to his older brother, helped rally stakeholders to begin the challenging work. The City Council has since built the foundation for a Visitors Bureau, hired Executive Director Corey Day, and with Cheryl Nash in communications, brought today's ribbon cutting and weekend celebration to life. Our EDC, Economic Development Council, was a harder road. Years of resistance and a litany of violations of the organization's bylaws led to the City Council defunding the organization in 2022. I then participated in 2-hour meetings, twice a month, meeting after meeting for 2 years, hours upon hours, waiting for action, waiting for real discussions, waiting for the opportunity to be listened to. It wasn't that there wasn't a lot of talk, there was, but it wasn't productive and it wasn't civil. However, I would have given up if it hadn't been for one other board member that just kept showing up offering solutions, and using his voice and influence. I thought, if only everyone would rally around him. And after 2 years, it happened. Board member Michael Van Buskirk showed what persistence and courage can do. He restructured the organization, set key performance measures, and restored collaboration. He took a lot of risk in upsetting other board members with his willingness to work with the city, the council, and the mayor. But in doing so, he saved and began rebuilding the EDC. Today, thanks to Michael's vision and leadership, the EDC is strong again. We implemented a new board and used democratic processes to do so. We hired a top-notch executive director, Joe Perry, after a thorough vetting process. It was Michael that kept me in the room when I wanted to walk away on numerous occasions because I just couldn't walk away when someone else was still willing to do the work. He gave massive amounts of personal time and effort to put together a plan and execute it. I know Michael doesn't like taking the credit. He doesn't want to take away from the great help he received from others along the way, but he built upon his legacy of civic leadership in this community. From all the nonprofit boards he serves, to the support he shows to the schools, to the amazing role in helping helping put the structure in place to have what Lee Summit deserves, a top-performing EDC. That's just a few of the reasons why. Michael Van Buskirk is your Truman Heartland Community Foundation Citizen of the Year. Seven years ago, I stood before you as a new mayor, grateful, hopeful, ready to roll up my sleeves with great determination and passion. We were a community rich in promise, poised for growth, but facing real challenges. We were under pressure to retain talent with fair pay, upgrade aging facilities, reinvest in infrastructure, and modernize our city services to meet the needs of a fast-growing population. However, we had no sustainable funding to make any of this happen. In one of the first meetings I had with the city manager, Steve Arbo, he asked how I thought I was going to get all this done since I had run so passionately on these issues, especially public safety. You see, I dreamed of being a premier city in the metropolitan area when it came to public safety. I wanted the best talent and the best equipment and facilities for the police and fire, and I was on a quest to make a difference in this way. I told Mr. Arbo I watched every meeting over the last year, most in person. I said, you already presented numerous ways to achieve these things through reprioritizing and cost-cutting measures, but I want to learn more. I asked him to show me every possible way to get this done, even the ideas he feared would get shot down by city council. You see, the environment 8 years ago was full of conflict. The city council was fighting publicly and privately, being disrespectful to staff and to each other, and definitely not listening to each other. I promised to change that and facilitate a civil decorum, but asked that he show us all the other ways he could think of with regard to budgeting and funding sources to be a world-class city with high-quality services, above-average employee pay, and exceptional facilities. It wasn't easy. We worked tirelessly together. I was tenacious. I pushed to learn and get caught up to speed because I was working alongside a professional that had done this for over 20 years. We had different styles and different personalities. We butted heads because, to be honest, people find me difficult to work with at times, most of the time. I'm relentless and never satisfied. Even when successful, I wake up the next day and begin plans to do more, make things even better, and get more done. Steve was efficient, methodical, and measured. He comes across as easy to get along with, but there's no pushing him around. I had a dream and a vision, but I needed his help to achieve it. I think he thought my expectations were too high because that's what everyone always tells me. But he helped me anyway. I'm sure it was because he is motivated for the same reasons. We shared the same why, to help others and help the community. He was willing to work this hard and take the time, if I was willing to work this hard and take the bullets that would come with presenting many of the ideas, then he was going to use his knowledge and expertise and put in the work to help me put the plan together. I would often stay very late into the night at City Hall the first couple of years. My wife, Hillary, would call me, "When are you coming home?" And I would tell her, "Not yet, honey. I'm researching, studying, learning, and planning." Mr. Arbo and I did put a plan together to identify new funding sources, cost reductions, and reallocate sources, making public safety our top priority. And I got started down a path that's been the greatest honor I've ever had, being a protector for the community and empowering our first responders, public works employees, and more. It's the closest I've ever come to being a guardian of the community, such as a police officer or a firefighter, but at least I could make a difference in this way. Then there was the hard part, the city council. Trust was broken between city staff and the council, and between city council members. Fortunately, when I came into office, at the same time, there was another new council member coming into office. The two of us were fresh meat, headed to the front line. Yeah, we were. We hadn't been through the battles, fights, and adversity the other council members had, but we just wanted to move forward. How? We also had different styles, but there was something about him. He was easy to talk to, extremely compassionate, and a consensus seeker. I asked him to help foster a culture of collaboration and team environment, and named him Mayor Pro Tem, which gave him the responsibility of assigning council members to committees. Among the council members, he built bridges and took down walls and barriers in ways that I could not. If you ever wondered why, these are the reasons I named Bethel Lopez the Mayor Pro Tem the last 8 years. With enough consensus seekers and some fresh perspectives, we forged ahead in a more collaborative environment with priority one, public safety. And together, we delivered. Over the last 7 years, we allocated over $4 million in year one to get our employees to market pay, with annual increases until year 5, when we pushed pay well above the market average. Why? To attract and retain the very best police officers and firefighters, because resourceful and talented first responders save lives. We upgraded the police headquarters and court facilities to better the experiences for citizens and our employees. We built new fire stations, number 4 and 5, to proficiently serve a growing city. We invested in body-worn and vehicle cameras for our police, because trust and accountability matter. We upgraded the equipment and vehicles, including adding an additional 7th ambulance, a ladder truck, 2 water rescue boats, and a live burn training facility at Fire Station 7, so that our first responders are always ready when we need them most. We repurposed an older fire station and will open a new police substation in the south side of the city 1 week from today, because closer connections to the community build relationships, increase access, and reduce crime. In a few months, we will celebrate the completion of a cutting-edge, state-of-the-art Joint Safety Operations Center that will house fire administration, co-locate police and fire dispatch, and integrate our traffic department for coordinated safety operations, because seconds matter and efficiency saves lives. Our commitment to public safety, first responders, police, and fire has been unwavering. So let's continue that which our citizens value most: a safe place to live, a safe place to grow up or raise a family, a safe place to grow old and be cared for, and a safe place to visit and celebrate, because Lee Summit will continue to grow and our public safety needs will increase in tandem. Public safety doesn't stop at first response. It extends to the roads we drive, the pipes under our feet, and the water in the ground in our homes. If you haven't noticed, we've had a lot of roads that have been under construction. At times, there have been so many orange cones and detour signs that it felt like we were playing Mousetrap in Lee Summit. And that probably ages me, but I had to do that. Every corner of the community had needs. We resurfaced dozens of roads, upgraded intersections, expanded stormwater systems, modernized sewer lines, and planned for water capacity. We tackled Colburn Road, Shipman Road, 2nd Street, 3rd Street, Pryor, and more. We successfully moved the Highway Patrol headquarters to Colburn Road, and the construction contract for 50 Highway and 291 North Interchange was awarded last month. It took 6 years to get the approval and funding via the multi-jurisdictional a multi-jurisdictional collaboration between the City of Lee Summit, the Highway Patrol, MoDOT, and the Lee Summit R7 School District. The $40 million interchange is a testimony to the ability of numerous governmental entities to cooperate and succeed on the behalf of our shared citizens. In the first of its kind, in the state of Missouri, the City of Lee Summit contracted with a partner to provide a state-of-the-art processing facility, which allowed for continued operation of a public disposal area for hazardous waste and other environmental programs, eliminating our reliance on a landfill or traditional transfer station. And in one of the most critical areas of infrastructure, at our new branded airport, Kansas City Lee Summit Regional, Hangar 2 is about to open, and a new airport terminal is on the way. These two projects will generate revenue for our city through increased airport operations, services, and business support. Hangar 2 and the terminal will play a crucial role in attracting companies that depend on efficient air transportation for their operations and will be a gateway for tourism activities. They will bring revenue streams to our local businesses and will house Lee Summit School District's Aerospace Academy to turn our students' aviation dreams into challenging, high-paying careers. Additionally, Midwest Avionics and Summit Flight Academy partnered with our airport to build a new hangar. These successful businesses outgrew their space at the airport and had options as to where they could invest and continue to grow their businesses, but they chose Lee Summit as their home. This should be a model for how we strategically, sustainably, and purposely grow going forward. Overall, we've spent more than $400 million on infrastructure over the last 7 years, and all those dollars were spent to ensure the safety and quality of life for our citizens. We were able to accomplish these infrastructure improvements through long-term planning and with the support of our citizens when they approved no tax increase bonds and sales tax initiatives over the years. So thank you to our citizens for entrusting the city and the city council to budget wisely and invest in ourselves. All right. We've been busy. Yes, we've been very busy. And we have been investing in ourselves. It's become a common practice, and not only in public safety and infrastructure, but in economic development. In doing so, we haven't just attracted businesses, we've created an environment where businesses want to be. We've seen record levels of development, billions in new construction, residential homes of every size, downtown businesses thriving, retail filling every neighborhood activity center, and with a workforce full of talent, jobs followed. And more families came. Retirees migrated to be near their families, and our businesses benefited. Activity begets activity. More synergy, more momentum. I know some yearn for the days of yesteryear. I came from a small town. My favorite TV show of all time is The Andy Griffith Show because I absolutely cherish small town values. Lee Summit has not been a small town in many decades, though. We're a suburban community, trying to keep the charm and the values that we grew up with. While we no longer have the closed for lunch signs on the downtown stores, we have bloomed into a lovely suburb. With every new rooftop came an increased demand for work and play. More and more families created more diverse community and attracted a plethora of new businesses, resulting in more momentum. Over the last 7 years, we've seen tremendous mixed use and retail in every corner of our community. Griffin Riley's Blackwell Commons mixed-use common is well under construction on the east side. Soon thereafter, they will build Osage Commons, another mixed-use development at 150 and Pryor. Mike Atchison's Colburn Ridge has its first of many buildings underway. Summit Orchard has been phenomenal with more additions around Cooper's Hawk, such as Andy's Frozen Custard, Swig, and the new Popeyes. I know, I love Popeyes. Steve Rich champions the Chipman Corridor, and right up the street from him is a new Hyundai dealership coming soon. On Colburn Road, Discovery Park has been full steam ahead and will open its first couple of hotels in 2026. This billion-dollar development truly moves the needle for our community with mixed-use commercial and residential incorporated in a park-like setting with water channels, pedestrian bridges, and more. Drake Development, Streets of West Pryor, has now provided to Lee Summit 12 new restaurants with the additions of 30 Hop and my favorite, Chicken Salad Chick. I do love it. Hillary's getting very tired of it. And yes, currently they have a waterway under construction, and yes, waterway has gas for those of you on the west side of town. Yeah, no kidding. Drake Development's Oldham Village was approved this year and will host the Park and Recreation's new 100,000 square foot field house, bringing basketball and volleyball tournaments to our community and providing extremely needed gym space for our youth sports. Oldham Village will host plenty of retail, including Q39 and a second Chick-fil-A. And if you haven't heard, Drake Development once again, just across the street from Oldham Village in the heart of all 67 square miles of Lee Summit at the intersection of 50 and 291 highways, proposed bringing another mixed-use development with a blockbuster retail wholesaler as the anchor. There was much speculation as to which hotel retailer it could be. However, due to the incredible speed of media in this day and age, after a preliminary development plan was filed with the city a week ago, it is, in fact, Costco that has made the application. You know, the great thing about Costco is they're the blue ribbon standard when it comes to retail shopping, but it's also the blue ribbon of anchors because desirable businesses like to locate in its activity centers. So if Costco continues its application, and if it's approved, you could expect more restaurants, more retail experiences, more options, more jobs, and to the city's benefit, more sales tax revenues. A Costco would bring day trips for shopping from consumers as far as an hour away, and is a company not only known for high quality goods and services, but also for being an employer that recognizes that employees are the engine and the company's greatest asset. Yeah. Thanks. Another development will bring regional visitors and considerable traction to one of our cherished neighborhood activity centers, New Longview. Earlier this year, our city council approved the View High Sports Complex, a 180,000 square foot indoor multi-sport complex that will house a FIFA regulation-sized soccer field, 8 basketball courts, 12 volleyball courts, strength and agility training facilities, and a family entertainment center. This venue will bring weekend tournaments and daily visits to our community from across the region for sports activities. It will bring visitors to the View High and New Longview Commercial Business District. It should be a great pairing with Paragon Star just up the road with the 10 outdoor turf fields. Paragon Star is completing the 470 and View High interchange improvement and is primed and ready for 2026 World Cup. Twice, I ran election campaigns on building a balanced economy and made it a mission for the city to find a way to attract quality jobs. To do so would require high-quality industrial space. We were told by economic development leaders for decades that we didn't have pad-ready sites. Then we were told land prices were too high. We were even told we didn't have the workforce to fill the jobs. Thankfully, we rejected all those excuses and forged our own path. We got in the jobs game. Why? Because jobs bring day visits. Employees coming to Lee Summit daily may buy gas, get lunch, and buy groceries in our city before heading home. Quality jobs have a multiplier effect in a community and lead to supplier jobs as well as forward-linking jobs. Like I said, activity begets activity. More synergy, more momentum. Scannell brought the Lee Summit Commerce Center with over 800,000 square feet. This is right behind the police station. Ward Development has been building 100,000 square foot buildings such as Town Center Industrial on the north side of town. K&R Wholesale is constructing a new 21,000 square foot facility and chose to relocate its business to Lee Summit last year. And LCRA has been an effective tool in business retention and expansion with numerous industrial or flex buildings built in Newberry Landings and the Hamblin Corridor. With all this activity, demand for housing in Lee Summit remains high, with our population now over 107,000 citizens. We have residential homes under construction in every part of the community, as well as our surrounding sister communities. We continue to maintain a healthy housing mix of roughly 2/3 single-family homes and 1/3 other homes, housing units, such as duplexes, fourplexes, apartments. This ratio was established during the well-vetted comprehensive plan completed a few years ago, and it continues to guide our development. One important and sometimes debated factor in fueling demand for the retail and amenities we've been adding is the introduction of luxury apartments throughout the city. These have created opportunities for young adults, whether just out of college or starting their careers, to live in Lee Summit. They've also provided housing for employees, filling the many new jobs created by our industrial and retail growth. I believe our City Council remains committed to exploring ways to make homes more affordable. While there may be differing opinions about who should own those affordable units, I would urge everyone not to judge those who rent, because some rent by choice. Others can't afford a home with soaring home prices. Some live in Lee Summit for 6 months, go to Florida for 6 months, so an apartment provides the lock and leave lifestyle that they're looking for. And some of our older citizens prefer the community of a luxury apartment over a senior living facility. I've always said, if you live in Lee Summit, you deserve the chance to work here. And if you work in Lee Summit, you should have the chance to live here. That's why we've worked to provide a diverse range of housing options, from single-family homes to multifamily communities. The truth is, half of our residents rent. Whether it's single-family home, duplex, townhome, or apartment, it's not unique to Lee Summit. It's the reality across America. And most of us at some point have rented in our lives. So no matter if you rent or own, you're a part of the Lee Summit community. We have welcomed a couple of facilities where all residents rent when we approved 2 different senior living facilities in the last 7 years, the Princeton and Raintree Village. I'm particularly proud of this fact because I also believe that if you live in Lee Summit, you need options to bring your parents here in later stages of their lives to be close to you. And if you lived in Lee Summit your whole life, you deserve to be able to live out your days in our community near your family. These senior living facilities provide such opportunities. If you think all this economic activity has been something to behold, well, activity begets activity, more synergy, and more momentum. So I need you to know there's a lot more coming. After 6 years of intricate and intensive work between Land Reserve, formerly referred to as PRI, and the City of Lee Summit, announcements of the developments will be coming soon. The 4,200 acres of farmland with no infrastructure, no roads, no water or sewer connections has taken a considerable amount of time and planning. Thankfully, Land Reserve has been in alignment with the city's comprehensive plan and has worked well with our Parks and Rec, as well as the school districts in their preparation. We will be making many decisions in the upcoming months that will put the city and Land Reserve in a strong position to support healthy and balanced economic development of these thousands of acres. It will bring tremendous amount of single-family development, as well as other housing options, more industrial development and quality jobs, more retail and specialty projects, and more traffic. Yes, we're going to have more traffic, so we are going to need to continue to lobby our state and federal representatives to help us with our infrastructure throughout our community, but specifically for 470 and the 470 highway and Colburn interchange. We've been beating this drum for many years now, and I am confident our council and city will continue to engage with our state and federal leaders. I do want to thank our state elected officials, a few of them are here today, for their steadfast support in Lee Summit during my tenure as mayor. You guys have been phenomenal. Every year, Senator Mike Searpoy, Speaker of the House, who's here today, John Patterson, and Representatives Carrie Engel, Representative Carrie Engel is here today. I don't know if Representative Kemp Strickler is, but Carrie Engel is here today too. They've championed Lee Summit. We are so blessed to have them working together for us. They've been able to secure funding for multiple projects year after year. Last year was no different, with the speaker and our team of representatives fighting for and receiving $3.5 million for interoperability, tough word for me, for our Joint Operations Safety Center. So thank you all so much for your support. You know, being an elected official is hard. It's not easy. Getting anything done takes so much time and consensus that many elected officials just go through the motions while looking for the next gig. Others lack the patience to deal with the bureaucracy and the years in office it takes to move the needle. Then there's the really difficult part of being an elected official, the toxicity of social media, the loss of friends, at least you thought they were your friends until you got elected, and the killer, the made-up accusations of impropriety, as if we're all willing to abandon our integrity to make a buck. If becoming wealthy was a goal, I wouldn't be spending late nights at City Hall. You don't do this for the money, because time is money, and being an elected official takes too much time away from money-making tasks. If you have any self-respect, it's brutal just being an elected official, let alone if you want to try and get something done. So if you're going to run for office and you want to get something done, you know, something really impactful, like becoming a city renowned for public safety with top-notch talent, equipment, and facilities, like diversifying your city's tax base by bringing commercial, retail, industrial, and jobs to your city, like creating a culture of collaboration in the community, or like building the most amazing farmers market and plaza imaginable, you have to know your why. You have to know your why. To do great things as an elected official, I believe your why comes down to one simple truth. You want to make life better for others. If that's your true purpose, you will succeed. You'll stay committed, envision the path forward, and believe in your ability to achieve it. Then you'll pursue it relentlessly, seeking help from anyone who shares your vision. And even if you have the most incredible work ethic and determination, you won't be able to do it alone. It's not possible. Because if you think about it, have you ever actually done anything alone in your life? I have a mother that went through some pretty tough times. She raised 3 sons after helping raise 5 younger brothers. She struggled financially most of her life, often working 2 jobs to make ends meet. She taught me to work hard to make it through and not sacrifice my values. She told me I was put on this earth for 2 reasons. First, to look out for and take care of others like my brothers and family, and someday my wife. And second, to learn and never stop seeking new knowledge and skills. Mom took care of everyone her whole life. She believed you have to have guardians and protectors in this world, and that was my role. I wouldn't be here today in this moment talking about all these successes without her influence, because she gave me my why at a very young age. There are people in our lives that helped shape and build our core foundation that are a big part of who we are and our successes. You might have to depend on a spouse like I've had to in my wife, Hillary. She's been willing to sacrifice for me so that I could go make a difference for others. She too has worked long nights and weekends for many years now to help us make ends meet, allowing me to focus on helping the community. Her only caveat was that I could go help others and be successful in the community, but I had to do so with humility, grace, and forgiveness in my heart. Yes, the women in my life have high expectations. Yeah. She made sure that I remembered this. Let me say, I lost my spot. There we go. Thank you for backing up. She constantly made sure I remembered that the way to get where I wanted to go was together with others, even with the ones that were slowing things down or not fully on board yet. And I had to keep the door open to those who were opposed. Because of this, even without ever going to a single city council meeting or ever engaging in any public debate, she was a major influence in all the successes the city has had under my leadership. I wouldn't have been successful in my 7 years in office as mayor or 3 as a school board member if it weren't for Hillary. And I certainly wouldn't have run for a second term had it not been for her. She's undeniably been the wind beneath my wings and shaped my why more than any other person. If you're an elected official, you can't accomplish anything without the employees, the engine, like the city manager that was willing to work with me and empower me with information when he easily could have said he didn't want to go in the direction I wanted to go. If you're an elected official, you can't accomplish great things without your community partners like downtown Main Street using their voice to help champion a project like Green Street, or like the Lee Summit Chamber answering the call when there are community needs. If you're an elected official and you want to do or build great things, you will need citizens willing to take risks themselves by supporting the cause and sharing in the vision like the one did for our community when he helped put together an economic development council we could be proud of, and by cultivating a collaborative environment across the city and between community partners. There are some true civic leaders in the room today that stepped up to salvage an extremely dire situation in our housing authority, and the difference they're making is one we are very grateful for. We have these types of citizens in our community, and we need to continue shining a light on them and thanking them for their service. Thank you. And boy, let me tell you, you will not be able to do great things without strong elected officials alongside you, willing to debate intelligently, passionately, and with civility. And that requires the majority of them to be pragmatic and diplomatic. You know, like the one I leaned on, easy to talk to, extremely compassionate, and a consensus seeker that looked for common ground. You need a majority willing to compromise, to build and do great things, and that is a blessing that I have had for all 7 years. Thank you, all of you. And I would not be here today giving you this speech with this story, with this backdrop, if it had not been for family, citizens, city staff, community partners, and city council members making a difference in my life, as well as the thousands of people that have been making decisions for this community the last 50 years. That's why today is such a special moment, because it hasn't been easy, and it required unprecedented alignment. It required getting a lot of elected officials with a variety of opinions and perspectives to share a vision and agree upon funding it. Earlier, I mentioned how difficult it was when I came to office 7 years ago and was told we didn't have enough money to compensate our employees, including the police and fire, with an adequate raise to get them to an average pay scale. Can you imagine what the city manager, Steve Arbo, must have thought when I also told him I wanted to buy the properties across from City Hall and build a magnificent farmers market and performance venue to fulfill the will of the citizens going back 30 plus years, and to fulfill the will of the citizens who voted for that bond in 2013. With only $300,000 left from the old bond, how could we buy property that cost 7 times that and build a market performance venue in the tens and tens of millions of dollars? It was a dream. Some called it a pipe dream, but everything changes with a dream. It took little convincing of Mr. Arbo, because he and others in our downtown community had dreamed of this for decades. It was a matter of what is the vision and what's the plan to achieve it. We started working on it the same way we did employee compensation, with a long-term plan that would take years of relentless pursuit. He worked with me in a way that I could be successful. He empowered me with information, strategized with me on how to pursue multiple sources of revenue. We left no stone unturned. From what underutilized assets could the city sell, to potential state funding sources, to the partnership with the Downtown Community Improvement District. To get everyone to work together, it would take a strong plan, but one thing I've learned is that if you have a dream, you must first create the vision. If you have a vision, if you can see it, if you can get others to see it, and if you all want it bad enough, you can achieve it. The vision was to build upon the greatness of our downtown by expanding on the charm of our most cherished gem. The downtown farmers market and plaza and public spaces would create an experience that few other activity centers or downtowns in the Midwest could rival. It would be a local destination for our citizens, but also a regional destination. We would be creating the most intimate, inviting, and welcoming atmosphere in a park-like environment. It would provide venues for music and art, such as the Wicked Garden, as well as fitness and recreational activities in multiple public spaces. Whether working outside at the kiosks in front of City Hall on a beautiful day, or cherishing time with your children and grandchildren at the playground, there would be something for everyone. It would draw visitors and multi-generational families for day visits and weekend getaways, and bring more shoppers to our downtown businesses and more sales tax revenues to our city. The farmers market itself would accommodate 100 vendors, including 50 stalls inside a magnificent multifunctional facility that would be operational year-round to allow for an extended farmers market season, hobby shows, holiday fairs, and cultural art activities. It would bring music festivals and performance venues that would be conducted under a gorgeous canopy. The farmers market and performance venue would be a landmark in our community for the next 100 years and expand upon the charm of our experience of our award-winning downtown. We would build upon our most cherished brand, our downtown, the heart of Lee Summit. This was the vision, and this is what we all worked together to accomplish. Everything changed with a dream. Everyone asked me if it's everything I dreamed it would be, and it truly is even better than I dreamed. The farmers market and plaza name, Green Street, is fantastic. The Green Street neon signs, including the wayfinding parking garage signs, are classic and beautiful. The lighting and all the public spaces, such as under the wickets, is magical. The playground makes you want so badly to be a kid again. The canopy outside those epic garage doors is majestic. And this facility, beautiful today like a ballroom, and functional tomorrow as the best farmers market in the state. I couldn't be prouder. And now that it is complete and the vision is a reality, I'm confident that a boutique hotel will be right around the corner. With Lane 4 as master developer, consulting the city every step of the way through this glorious project, they are working to bring a boutique hotel to nestle beside the Wicked Garden over here, right at 3rd and Green Street, and the other corner at 2nd and Douglas may bring a restaurant or retail right next to the Green Street lawn under the canopy where festivals, music, and people will gather for decades to come. All right. Everyone asks me also what my favorite part of Green Street is. And I keep holding back because I've been holding it for this moment to tell you all. My favorite part is the one piece I didn't have much of a hand in. I told Ryan Elam and Mark Dunning repeatedly, we had to have a sculpture. It had to be iconic. It had to be distinguished. They assured me it would. I came back to them later and said, no, it has to be better than that. It had to be perfect. And they told me not to worry, and they were right. They took it through another long bureaucratic process with lots of people in the room making collaborative decisions, and they found the most beautiful sculpture made by an unbelievably talented artist. The 14-foot-high sculpture is iconic. Its brilliant colors, distinguished by day and by night, and its form and location are perfect. It's a symbol of the beauty of the farmer's market, a maple seed, and it's called Everything Changes with a Dream. There are hundreds. There are hundreds of stories of collaboration of stakeholders and thousands of decision points over the last 7 years that brought Green Street to fruition. So many people had roles and were part of the story to get this to this moment today. As for my role, I poured my heart and soul into this position as mayor and this project for 4 years alongside many of you in this very room. And we could not get it close to done in my first 4 years. It was going to take even more commitment, another 4 years, because the job wasn't done. Another election season, more toxicity on social media, more stress with all that comes with responsibilities, more late nights at City Hall, more nights and weekends for Hillary, more pushing to make it better and not being satisfied until we cross that goal line. But I know my why. So I made the commitment, put on my armor, and forged ahead. But now I had the experience and knowledge to raise the bar even higher and the confidence to believe we could do whatever we set our mind to. So it's not an exaggeration to say I came in hot, determined, and resolute. Knowing your why gives you courage and empowers you to face challenges, take risks, and persevere in the face of adversity. You will need all that motivation and conviction because no matter how good your intentions are, there are those that just don't want to see you succeed. Some will say anything to bring you down a notch or take away from your successes. You must go forth anyway and not let them slow you down, not let them distract you from your synergistic efforts or slow your momentum. You have to take all the negative things that people say with their words or even their body language and use it to make you stronger, more resilient, more relentless than you ever thought you could be. There will be millions of reasons to hold back and millions more to be satisfied with less. But that is not how you accomplish great things. Greatness can be achieved through everyday tasks, but you've got to be on your game every single day. You've got to know your why and dream great things. You must envision your dream and find others that will share the vision with you. When you find people that share the same dreams and the same vision, empower them. And then together, you have to be unstoppable in pursuit of your dream, year after year, day after day, hour after hour, relentless in pursuit of your dream, unwavering in your commitment, unreasonable in your pursuit of perfection. Some people may call it being difficult. I call it having great determination and passion. So, to the family, friends, citizens, community partners, city staff, and my fellow city council members, that found ways to work with me, that stuck with me, that helped empower me to do my part as mayor. I thank you. You are truly team players doing what's best for the community. You've been contributing in all ways for the team so that we could keep winning and winning and winning. And this Green Street Market Plaza, it feels a lot like winning the Super Bowl. We've built upon the greatness of our downtown by expanding on the charm of our most cherished gem, the crown jewel of our community and the heart of Lee Summit. It is the result, it's the result. It's the result of decades of activity leading to more activity. It's a result of synergy with everyone working together to achieve something greater than the sum. And it's the result of momentum where everyone shared a vision. The belief was so strong and the community wanted it so badly enough that we found a way. And now it becomes a symbol of what we believe in: community, culture, and progress. I thank you for coming and being a part of this special day. Now I just need your help one more time to go push this across the goal line with the ribbon cutting. So thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor Baird. One more round of applause, please. Lee Summit is truly the best place to live, work, and play in Missouri. We should consider ourselves fortunate to be part of this incredible community. At this time, we would like to invite you to a small reception provided by St. Luke's Health System at the back of the room. When you're finished grabbing some snacks or refreshments, we can then ask you to make your way out to the ribbon cutting ceremonies, exiting out the doors you came in. We will host 3 simultaneous ribbon cuttings this evening to usher in a new era in downtown Lee's Summit. One's going to be in the park, one is under the wickets, and one in front of the mural. If you are participating in the actual cutting of the ribbon, please find your way to your designated areas now. All others, please take a moment to enjoy the reception and head outside quickly afterwards to catch a performance from all 3 of our Lee Summit High School bands. We ask that ribbon cutting spectators leave plenty of room for our professional photographers to capture this monumental moment and stay clear of the roped off areas. The ribbon cutting will take place promptly at 6 with a countdown by Chamber President Matt Baird. Following the ceremonies, please join us for the Green Street Grand Opening Weekend Block Party, complete with food trucks and live music. Thank you all for coming here.